We are back on Let's Have It Out. Let's take a call. We have Ronald from Mpumalanga on the line. Hi, Ronald. What is your question or comment?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. I have a simple question. Before I'm going to ask my question, I'm going to be very short. The first thing I'm going to say is that South Africa never been a country that faced a simply social coalition, because from the first time when apartheid ended, the government didn't become socially committed because we didn't have the economic power, but we have what? We have a say in saying how things should go and turned out at the end of the apartheid era. But we didn't, as black people, we didn't face the economic power. That is why we still face a country that has much inequality. Then my question is simple. As South Africa is facing the issue of land without expropriation, I would like to ask the guest speaker, is this uniting South Africa or creating a thing that will create a South African that will be racist and not in one direction? Because if you can check out the whole picture, most political parties use this in order to win the general election. They don't use this to unite people or give them the economic power that they think
Ronald,
they want to give to people.
I'm sorry to cut you short. What's your question? Just in brief, very brief.
The question is very simple. Does the land expropriation without compensation unite South Africa, or does it create a chaos that even the government will never be able to resolve?
That question has been had, fair enough. It's talking about, again, the expropriation, land expropriation without compensation. Will it really lead to creating this non-racial society, which is a dream society, or is it an obstacle? And so on? I think that's how I understand it.
Look, this is a bridge we must cross, whether we like it or not. This thing is overdue. The whole thing about willing seller, willing buyer has failed, has not succeeded. Land has to be expropriated. I've mentioned the reasons. We need land for agricultural reasons. Our people don't have land. We need land for economic reasons. Our people do not have access to land. We have to face these things and deal with them head on.
Dr. Maaba, let's talk now about the statues and monuments. Given the roads must fall, we spoke about monuments and statues, and the Minister of Arts and Culture appointing a task team, and that actually had views of people. In the discourse now, there's an issue that is emerging about scenarios whether you have these statues of discredited ideologies like Verwoerd and so forth, or just you simply take them to a theme park, and then perhaps have statues that reflect the values of our constitution. What's your take on this?
These statues, Verwoerd and others, and all the oppressors, Graham, named after Grahamstown, people who actually harassed and terrorized our societies, do not belong to our heritage landscape. These statues have actually tormented our psyche for years. They were put there simply because the apartheid regime and the colonial government wanted to send the message that we have defeated you, must accept your status as black people. You are out. You are finished. These statues belong to the dustbin of history. I think what needs to be done with these particular statues, erect a museum of this, the history of the doomed and put them there, so that when people want to visit and see who are these oppressors that we're talking about.
Dr. Maaba, are we not destroying history? Your child and my child, who doesn't know who Verwoerd is, are we not depriving that? Are we not so afraid? We defeated apartheid. Now talking about statues and monuments. Are we really really not going to hide this history that we need?
We are not necessarily putting history aside here. What we're saying is that these statues belong to this particular museum that I'm talking about, a museum of the doomed. If people want to learn about this particular history, they should go to this particular museum.
I think this matter has touched Ronev. There's a caller. We have a last call of the show. Madiba from Cape Town on the line. Hi, Madiba. What is your question and also comment in brief?
Yeah, good evening. Yes, I'm going to be very, very brief. Number one, if you are talking about social cohesion, I think it is very, very important, even for the other races as well, especially the whites. I'm talking about the people that oppressed us. They are not prepared at all to learn about our African languages. You can't believe right here in Cape Town, from what we used to be called as Model C schools, when the children, they speak their own language, for example, in isiXhosa, they are going to be taken for detention because they are forced and bound to speak English or Afrikaans. But you'll find those, the Afrikaans and the English, they can be able to speak the language, at school, no problem. That's why I'm saying, whether are we compromising too much, or did we compromise too much even on those negotiations when we negotiated for this independence? That's why I'm failing to understand. And to the extent you don't feel free in South Africa at all.
I think, Madiba, your question is, Dr. Maaba understood it. My understanding of the question is, where we have got the other side just receiving, not prepared to give out and to have this project of reconciliation. And then again, the caller, emphasized what Madiba said, that this must be a two-way process. That of, the victim forgiving, but also on the other hand, others should also, show, so the white people. He is saying that there is no reciprocal approach of, the two actually ensuring that, more especially from the whites. What's your take?
It's true, there isn't. Look at holidays like Heritage Day, Reconciliation Day, December 16, June 16. It's only black people that show up there. White people don't bother themselves. They don't show up, and so on and so on. And I must say something also, that they themselves, white people, are divided. They do need social cohesion between themselves. If you look at the Anglo-Boer War or the South African War, it has left the Boer and Breton divided in this country. They require...
Just on that point, the issue of public days, like Heritage Day and so forth, do you think that we're doing enough to use those days really to communicate these messages and build on social cohesion? Yes? Just in brief.
Government is doing enough, but, there's people are not reaching out at all. These days are organized, people don't show up. It's only black people who show up. That's why I was saying we're overextending ourselves as black people. This is not reciprocal. It's not a two-way street.
In a nutshell from you, the social cohesion discourse is on course, and you think, Dr. Maaba, that something can be achieved to ensure that our country becomes coherent and we achieve the dream of the founders of our democracy, that is of creating an racial and non-sexist South Africa. Do you think that is possible?
It's achievable, but everybody must actually put their hands on deck in order to achieve social cohesion. As I'm saying to you, it cannot be black people who are extending themselves only. White people should extend themselves as well.
Thanks so much. I think the discussion has helped to enlighten us on this very critical matter of social cohesion, on whether we are really creating an racial South Africa, on whether we can ever achieve social cohesion. I think from this discourse, it becomes very clear that social cohesion is achievable, and that all the strides, not only government, but of course communities, the issue of languages, that we at home, we cannot actually, say that the responsibility is only for government. Why are you talking English to your child at 2 o'clock afternoon, and yet you still want other people to understand your own languages? Is language not a very critical issue of identity that a parent cannot delegate to a school? I think on this show and in other shows to come, we'll tease this matter further of social cohesion, which is very much important, and watch out, and thanks so much.